What's up everyone, Jay here from Shonen Sanctum, and if you couldn't tell from the title of the video, today we are going to come to the long-awaited conclusion on the feud between the Naruto and the Seven Deadly Sins fans on who is actually stronger, the Dragon Sin of Wrath, Meliodas, or the 7th Hokage of the Leaf Village, Naruto Uzumaki. Please note I will be analysing them based on the strongest version, so yeah, Byron mode and Demon King form are in the house. How I'm going to analyse both characters is by using a setup that I created myself called the Spidey system. And don't worry, this has nothing to do with Marvel, it's just an acronym that I created to help me identify the differences in skills between characters in anime, mainly shonen anime. Before I get into the battle, I'm going to give a quick explanation on how the Spidey system works, as we're probably going to be using it a lot in future videos. So the S stands for speed, how fast and agile a character is. P stands for power, how strong the character is physically and the level of their destructive force. I stands for intellect, which measures how smart a character is, generally and tactically. D stands for defense and durability, basically how much of a tank the character is. E stands for experience, how much battle experience does the character have, very important. And last but not least, Y stands for yield, how strong are the character's willpower. Are they more likely to give up or fight to the end no matter what the circumstances? Now, how I'm going to use the Spidey system to judge each character is that within each section, a character can earn a maximum of 10 points based on how effectively they use the skill in their show compared to the other. And with that said, I don't think there's anything left to say on that topic. Let's get into it. So the first skill is speed. I'm going to start with Meliodas. When it comes to Meliodas, or more accurately the show Seven Deadly Sins, it's very hard to measure just how fast the characters are because it's never really something that's brought up a lot in the show. I do, however, understand that there is a bit of controversy in the Seven Deadly Sins community regarding the speed of the characters, which is why I highly recommend you guys watch a video created by the YouTuber That Guy with a Pencil, as he gives a very logical explanation on the speed of the characters in the show, mainly Meliodas. The link will be in the description below. But from my own opinion, I do believe Meliodas is very fast and agile in the show. We've obviously seen him dodge and counter lightning and light-based attacks from his enemies, and even cut down some of his foes instantly. But from my own judgment, compared to other shonen anime, I would say he speeds at an average level. Some of you guys may disagree and that's fine, but this is just my personal opinion from what I've seen of Meliodas in the show. So with that said, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10 for his speed. Now Naruto, when it comes to speed, is arguably the fastest living character in the Narutoverse. We've seen that he's pretty much capable of moving faster than the speed of light. He instantly evaded the Red Kage's full-powered attack, whose speed was said to be only second to Minato, and we know how fast he was. Not to mention he was able to evade and counter-attack Ten Tails Madara's Light Fang technique, which was officially stated to be equal to the speed of light. So right off the back of that, I'm going to give Naruto a solid 8 out of 10, no discussion, no debate, moving on. The next skill we're going to look into is power. When it comes to power, Meliodas is an absolute beast. We've seen just how ridiculous his physical strength is, being able to match blows with people double his size. His destructive capabilities are also insane, with Revenge Counter being one of the most OP abilities, period. Not to mention just how ridiculous his power is in his final form. With all of that said, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Reason being, for him to use Revenge Counter, which I believe is his most powerful technique, effectively, he needs to take an enormous amount of damage to execute it, which could easily leave him vulnerable. Now Naruto's power is absolutely insane. We've seen levels of Naruto's destructive power that could easily allow him to destroy countries all at once if he really wanted to. His physical strength is also something we cannot ignore. With Sage Mode, we know just how much of a boost it adds to someone's physical strength. Not to mention the Sage of the Six Paths mode, which he combines with both Sage Mode and Kurama Chakra mode. And I won't even begin to get into Byron mode. Beast. With that said, Naruto is definitely, again, a solid 8 out of 10. No debate, no discussion, moving on. Now the next skill is intelligence. When it comes down to general knowledge, both these characters aren't exactly geniuses, but in terms of tactical knowledge, both of them have shown incredible displays of just how clever they can be in battle. Meliodas has shown very high levels of intellect in his show. I would say he's of an average intelligence when compared to other members of his team, for example Merlin, who is a complete genius, hands down. However, in terms of his tactical knowledge, I don't believe there's anyone in the entire show who measures up to Meliodas. We've seen him outnumbered and still being able to gain the upper hand on multiple occasions. And not to mention just how efficiently he uses full counter in battle. With that in mind, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 for his intelligence. Naruto's intelligence is something we see increase throughout the show. I would say his general knowledge is also at an average level compared to the likes of a Kakashi and a Shikamaru. However, his tactical knowledge is on a completely different level, especially when we look at the Shadow Clone Jutsu in particular. Naruto completely mastered this technique, so much so that it allowed him to perform incredible feats throughout the entire show. This includes creating the wind style Rasen Shuriken, which later became a forbidden jutsu for just how powerful it was, mastering and perfecting Sage Mode, and even being able to beat the Nine Tails in a one-on-one battle. Naruto is without a doubt the most innovative character in the show, which speaks volumes to his tactical knowledge. I'm going to give him a solid 8 out of 10. Again, no debate, no discussion, we're moving on. The next skill we're going to look into is defense. I believe that when it comes to defense, Meliodas is one of the best in shonen anime, hands down. This is mainly because of his technique for counter, and I know what you guys are thinking, it can only reflect magical techniques. Yes, I get that, I understand it, but if we were to say that he can reflect any non-physical technique, regardless of whether it's magical or not, there aren't many characters in shonen anime who can compete with him when it comes to defense. But I will say that as overpowered as full counter is, there are some drawbacks to the ability. For example, if someone is fast enough, they could just avoid the recoil, or if they have a good level of defense and durability, they could just tank whatever's thrown back at them. But on the subject of durability, I have to mention that this man can easily reattach his severed body parts. He has 7 hearts and is basically immortal, which to me shows just how durable he is. So I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10 in the defense department. Absolute tank. Now Naruto has a very high level of defense. Obviously he has the Nine Tails cloak, which was able to protect pretty much everyone in the war arc when fighting the 10 Tails. He also has Sage Mode, which makes him incredibly durable. We know he can heal himself rapidly and obviously if he needs to. He's probably the most durable character in his show, but compared to the likes of Meliodas, there's not much competition. But he's still very impressive, so I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 in the defense department. The next skill we're diving into is experience. Very important. Now Meliodas is over 3,000 years old. He has been in countless battles, fought thousands of enemies, and has managed to survive all of it. And the experience he's gained from it is shown very clearly. The fact that this man was throwing hands with a broken sword at the beginning of the show, with less than 20% of his willpower, speaks volumes to his experience. 9 out of 10. Now Naruto obviously is nowhere near the age of Meliodas, but his experience as a fighter is still incredibly impressive. We know he's fought many strong enemies in his show, Pain, Madara, Kaguya, and all have given him an immense amount of experience. Not to mention just how much he's probably gained since becoming Hokage, which we can assume is a lot. However, I will say again, compared to the likes of Meliodas, who has 3,000 years of combat experience, although I do believe Naruto has fought stronger enemies, the gap between the years they've been alive and potentially the battles they fought is just too wide. But I will say again, Naruto as a shonen character does have a very decent amount of experience compared to other shonen characters. So I think a 6 out of 10 is fair for Naruto in the experience department. Now the last category we're going to look into is yield. How strong are these characters' willpower? Are they likely to surrender depending on a certain circumstance? The answer for both is no, obviously. Both these characters have incredible willpower, as most shonen main characters do. Both of them have pushed through and overcome many difficult situations to get to the level that they are now. Naruto in becoming the Hokage, Meliodas in breaking his and Elizabeth's curse. Both of them are without a doubt 10 out of 10. I don't think any of you can argue with that. No debate. Yeah, let's move on. Now that we've finished analysing both characters using the Spider system, we can add up the points and see who scored the highest. 60 is the highest a character can get, and 0 is obviously the lowest. So let's see where they both stand. Okay guys, so I finished adding up the points and I have to say it is incredibly close. But yeah, you guys will see in a second where they both stand. So I'm going to start with Naruto. Naruto scored an incredible 46 out of 60 in terms of his abilities as a shonen character. Very nice. And Meliodas scored an incredible 45 out of 60. So the winner by just 1 point is Naruto Uzumaki of the Leaf Village. I have to say it was incredibly close. Both these characters are amazing, but Naruto just about overtakes Meliodas. So if they were to fight, Naruto would win, but literally just about. But this does not mean Meliodas would just get bodied, ended. He would definitely put Naruto through the works. Naruto would have to go all out to beat him, and even then I don't think he would be able to just wipe him off the face of the earth. He'd most likely end up wearing him out, very much like the battle between Meliodas and Escanor in Seven Deadly Sins, or Luffy and Katakuri in One Piece, take your pick. So basically a battle of endurance, pretty much. So yeah guys, that's it. Please note that this is all opinion based. I know some of you might not agree, and that's fine. I would love to see what score you would give either Naruto and or Meliodas in the comment section below. If you made it this far into the video, you might as well drop a like and even subscribe. It will help me out a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.